suffered from anxiety, or did you know that there are 5 major types of anxiety disorders? Have you ever been a witness of any of the 5? Today I will be going over the main cases of an anxiety disorder. By the end of this speech, you will learn and understand some of the roles, risks, symptoms, and preventions of the 5 major anxiety disorders: generalized anxiety, obsessive compulsive disorder, panic disorder, and post-traumatic stress disorder, and social anxiety. You are abusive, psychotic, most of the time I really hate the way you make me feel. Maddie Perez. From us to anxiety. The 5 main points that I will be speaking about today are the 5 disorders that fall under anxiety: generalized anxiety disorder, obsessive compulsive disorder, panic disorder, post-traumatic stress disorder, and social anxiety. Now that I've went over the objective of this speech, I will introduce my first main anxiety disorder. Definition: a disorder characterized by an excessive or unrealistic anxiety about 2 or more aspects of life. For example, work or relationships, financial matters, etc. Often accompanied by symptoms such as shortness of breath or dizziness. The risk factors, according to the National Institute of Mental Health, a couple of risk factors of generalized anxiety disorders are shyness or behavioral inhibition in childhood, exposure to stressful or negative life environment as an early childhood or an adulthood. According to the WebMD, the symptoms of generalized anxiety disorders are excessive, unrealistic worry or tension. Now that I have gave you a good idea of what generalized anxiety disorder is, I will begin telling you our second major anxiety disorder. Obsessive compulsive disorder. Definition: a personality disorder characterized by excessive orderliness or perfectionism, attention to detail, and a need to control in relations to others. According to the National Institute of Mental Health, a couple of risk factors of obsessive compulsive disorders are people who have experienced abuse, or imaging studies have shown differences in frontal cortex structures of the brain in patients with OCD. According to the Help Guide, 3 symptoms of OCD are fear of being contaminated by germs or dirt, fear of losing control, the idea of everything must line up just right. I've gone over everything about obsessive compulsive disorder. I will now move on to my third major anxiety disorder. Panic disorder. Definition is a disorder in which anxiety or fear arises frequently and without reasonable causes. According to National Institute of Mental Health, a couple of risk factors of panic disorder are health conditions such as heart problems or caffeine or other substances, medications can also produce aggravated anxiety symptoms. A physical health examination is helpful in evaluation of a possible anxiety disorder. According to the WebMD, symptoms for panic disorder are chest pains, strong irregular heartbeats, or feeling of choking of heart attacks. I have mentioned everything for panic disorder, and I am moving on to my 4th major anxiety disorder. Post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD, a condition of mental and emotional stress occurring as a result of injury of severe shock. According to the National Institute of Mental Health, a couple of risk factors of post-traumatic stress disorder are dealing with extra stress after an event, such as loss or loved ones, pain and injury or loss of a job, having a history of mental health or substance abuse. According to the Faculty Health, the 3 symptoms of PTSD are detachments from others, flashbacks, and nightmares. I have taught you what the risk factors, preventions, and post-traumatic stress disorder of post-traumatic stress disorder. Wrapping up my last major anxiety disorder, I will finish with social anxiety or social phobia. According to the Anxiety of Depressions Association of America, the definition of social phobia is intense anxiety or fear of being judged negatively, evaluated, or rejected on social platforms. According to the National Institute of Mental Health, a couple of risk factors of social phobia are exposure to stressful and negative life or environment events in childhood or in adulthood, a history of anxiety or other mental illnesses in biological relatives. According to the WebMD, the symptoms for social phobia are overwhelming worry, self-consciousness, or worries of others judging you. Now that I've demonstrated my 5 main points and anxiety disorders, their definitions, risk factors, and symptoms, I want to end my speech about a major anxiety disorder. I want to end my speech about major anxiety disorders, giving each of you 4 ways to prevent anxiety. According to WebMD, the ways to prevent anxiety are medications, antidepressants, psychologists, counseling, and other behavioral therapies. Recognizing change in behavior. Ending my speech, I'm going to give you a speech from Cal Jacob or Eric Dan. I admire whatever it took, I just hope it didn't teach you the wrong lesson. Thank you for listening.